I can't remember anyone who would walk by one of those stores and see those models and not think, wow, how do you get that physique? How do you, and the truth is, most people can't just accomplish that. That's a pretty impressive feat. For you though, what's unique about you is you're an elite athlete. Yeah. So on top of all this, that's where your story is so unique to me, because you're an elite athlete. And if someone like you can go through this, I mean, that highlights how many other young boys and men out there could possibly go through it. When were you able to flip that script in your mind?
So really it started, I like to share my story. I think it's somewhat effective because I'm big into cause and effect, right? So I come back and we talk about, you know, with medicine is I wanted to go to med school for the longest time. And that was my big thing. And so playing baseball obviously kind of derailed that a little bit. But I always wanted to know why. So when I got to really diving into it, and I was like, okay, why do I have this? Well, I want to look that certain way. And then all these sports psychologist people came in and started teaching me about positive affirmations. Started teaching me about writing a plan, a short-term, long-term. And so as I started getting into some of these methods of sports psychology, I started relating it to the coping skills I was taught in my outpatient program. So I started viewing things as, a great example would be, I'm a great baseball player. I'm gonna make it to the big leagues. I would start writing positive affirmations about my baseball. Well, then all of a sudden, I started doing that to my own personal life. So it was like, dude, you're awesome. Like, you are a great person. Like, you are enough. And so as I started doing that, I started going, oh, I believe this now. So as I believed these positive affirmations going on in my baseball life, I started realizing those positive affirmations were helping me outside of it, and then really dealing with my eating disorder.
Were you still continuing with outpatient treatment for the eating disorder specifically at that point?
No, not until I started getting more into this sports psychology on dealing with it mentally, which is something we always see is you think of someone with an eating disorder and you think of someone that's severely emaciated. And you're like, okay, that's someone who has an eating disorder. But we don't realize that it doesn't discriminate. I was a normal looking kid for the most part, and people were like, oh, you dealt with that? So I think that's a big thing.
But you had an unhealthy relationship with food.
100%. I would say I looked normal, but the things going on inside my head weren't normal. You know, no normal kid would tape trash bags and duct tape them and put on layers of sweatshirts and sweatpants and throw a stationary bike in a shower until it starts steaming and just ride in there until they pass out. Like, that's not normal, right? That's not healthy. So the things that were going on inside my head weren't normal. What I thought was normal was obviously not.
Yeah, and I believe the statistics now are that 1 in 3 people with an eating disorder is actually a man, but we just don't talk about it because of the cultural stigma and, like you said, the feeling that it's not manly to talk about it in that context. So I think it's so incredible that now you're dedicating your efforts to working with the National Eating Disorders Association, right? That's going to be...
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's, you know, and thank you very much. And, you know, and to go on to that point even more is I truly think those numbers are off. I have people on Instagram, Twitter that are reaching out to me going, guys and women, but guys that are saying, hey, I've hid this for 30, 40 years. I would say that's clinically significant if you're hiding for 30 or 40 years, but they've never told anybody because it's emasculating. And so I truly think that, you know, those numbers are off, and hopefully by sharing my story, hopefully it gives them enough to go and seek some professional help.
No, I think it's inspiring. Congratulations. Thank you.
No, thank you.
Well, Mike, you're a great baseball player, but you're more impressive as a man. I really appreciate it, and just keep doing this. And if you're out there watching and Mike's story impacted you, maybe you're struggling with an eating disorder, maybe you have a loved one who is, we're gonna have more resources on our website.
Mike, you just hit it out of the park, buddy.
Yes.